Hello, and welcome back to Get Growing with Jordan. I'm just watering the plants out the front because it's scorching hot out, and these plants are thirsty. I've had so much positive feedback over last month's video that I thought I'd give you another quick tour of my garden. It's late June, early July, and the heat is making so much of these plants grow. So come on back, I've got lots to show you.
Coming up next on Get Growing with Jordan.
Last time, we were on the doorsteps of summer in late May. Well, it's late June now, and there has been lots of growth in the garden. I'm so excited to show you.
With the summer heat blazing down on our gardens, Jordan has the advice that can save your plants and keep them looking lush. Welcome to Get Growing with Jordan.
My nasturtiums are doing really well. I've got flowers already and I'm super excited about them. I did space them out and planted some more seeds and they have started coming up. These two are fresh, but the flowers are just absolutely stunning, and that bright reddish orange color is just beautiful. And little fact is, nasturtiums are edible, both the leaves and the flowers. Haven't tried them yet though, but I will. My bok choy has been thriving, but I've had one problem: flea beetles. They love Chinese greens. If you look at these leaves, you'll see tiny little holes, and those are caused by the flea beetles. The leaves are still edible, and I'll still eat them, but it just doesn't look that good. I've temporarily put these sticky traps down in hopes of catching them, but I find the best method to actually getting them is to pick up the sticky trap, find them on the tips of the leaves, just stick them on there. These will be ready to harvest anytime soon. I planted my sweet peas fairly late in the season, but they just started to sprout, and eventually they will grow up this wigwam. I will use them to actually just cut the flowers and put them in a vase. They're just for ornamental purposes, but something new to try this year. The cucumber plant has grown phenomenally. Look how big it is. It's just curling onto all of this trellis, just trying to reach and grab on. Oh, and I think I'm going to be a cucumber dad. I see a few already. I think normally they grow on the ground covering, but it's been latching onto the trellis, so with any luck I can contain it to just this area. But I already see quite a few flowers and some cucumbers. The smell of sage. Beside it, I've got purple basil, which I've already picked already, and let me just say, it's perfect for pizza. And I've got chives over here as well. Haven't chopped any of that off, but look at it, it's just growing so fast and so tall. This garden over here has been perfect for lunches. I've harvested arugula for my salads, arugula also for my pizzas, and lettuce for my burgers. My beets have had a little bit of trouble with leaf miners. It's a pest that actually lay eggs inside of the leaf, and the caterpillars live inside and chew away in the middle. One way to get rid of leaf miners is to identify them early enough and just suppress them. That'll kill the little worm inside. I will have to plant some more later, so I will have another round of beets coming later on in the early fall. I picked up this kale from the garden center a few weeks ago. I've never grown it before, but it's very pretty and it is pretty tasty. I've chopped off a couple leaves and made a stir fry out of it so far. So far so good. It's supposed to grow little kalelettes, is what they call it, in the corners of each of these stems. So we'll see how this turns out. Look at the size of this bush. It's the bushiest bush I've ever seen. These blackberries are just starting to change colors, and in a couple weeks, I'll be able to harvest them. I wonder how many pints of blackberries I'll get this year. I've had a lot of success with my curly kale. The only problem is I have to come out every single day looking for the cabbage moths. those cabbage moths, those little white moths, come around and lay eggs on the undersides of the leaves. So I have to go underneath and find these eggs and squish them. I've harvested a lot so far. I've made a sauteed kale with garlic and sesame seed oil. It's perfect. One quick tip is to use a reusable produce bag and cover your kale and other vegetables that may be vulnerable to pests such as cabbage moths. Last time you saw these strawberry plants in a hanging basket, and I said I was going to transplant them in a smaller container. Well, I did. I split them up into these 2 containers in hopes that they'll reproduce and create more strawberry plants. I put them in these taller containers just so that the fruit don't touch the bottom, and so far so good. I've harvested a few already. These pepper plants are thriving, and they're thriving a bit more than the ones that are planted in the ground. And I think the reason is because these are in grow bags, where the roots can get lots of oxygen all the way around. I've been soaking them in my little pool so that the water seeps in from underneath the ground all the way up, instead of watering them on top. And I think that's made a big difference. You can see these peppers already have some quarter-size round bell peppers already, and within a couple weeks I think they will start to turn red. This is my cherry tomato plant that I grew from seeds, and not just from any seeds. These were seeds grown from England when I was there in 2018. Great Auntie Marion gave me a couple seeds to bring back home to Canada, and sure enough, I've grown them for the 2nd year. It's important to remember to pull off these suckers. And they grow in a 45-degree angle in between the leaf stem and the main stem. It's important to pull these off because it'll use a lot of energy to grow more flowers on these, and by taking them off it will put more energy into growing tall. This Brugmansia plant is very thirsty. It's been very hot out today, so you can see the leaves are a little bit droopy. But it's near the end of the day, so I'm giving it a nice drink. You can see it's starting to produce some of the flower pods, and these flower pods will turn into large trumpet-like flowers, hence the name angel trumpet. The smell of these flowers are so fragrant. When the moon's out, the leaves point up to the sky, and it's actually quite an amazing sight. I can't wait to show you what it looks like when it's in full bloom. This is my cannabis plant. Now this is the Gorilla Glue strain, and it's an autoflower, which means it grows quick, but it grows small. What I'm doing here, as you can see, it's a little bit tied back, is I'm trying to train it so that it can grow maximum amount of growth. Instead of letting it grow straight up, I'm pulling it back on its side, so then it starts to grow on an angle, and this will allow more growth from the underside, so then it will produce a bigger harvest. Well, there you have it. I hope you've enjoyed my June garden tour. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at GetGrowingWithJordan for all the latest tips and updates. Until next time, keep gardening and have fun.
Have you got a garden-related question? Post your question below and it may be answered on an upcoming video.